What is linguistics? So let's discuss some of the characteristics of linguistics. Explicitness. Being clear about the assumptions on which a study is based. So a linguist knows that what he is doing. So he makes certain assumptions about language, about the topics of language, main topics or subtopics of language. So he has to analyze language using language. Obviously, the subject matter is language and the linguist uses some language. Explicitness dictates that you should be clear about assumptions, proven or unproven, on which a study is based. So whenever the linguist takes some assumption about the language, or he makes some hypothesis, and he has to prove whether these hypotheses are true or wrong. So before analyzing a language, some linguists define a language in different ways. Like, for example, you can define a language as a system of arbitrary vocal symbols. So when we say that vocal symbols, we actually minus the non-verbal signals which also accompany the verbal signals. So thus the scope of analysis based on clearly and explicitly defined subject matter. He knows that he is going to discuss the vocal signals. So this is to say that everything beyond the scope, such as gesture, bodily movement, will be ignored. So when the linguist studies language, the linguist does not discuss the accompanying part of non-verbal communication with the verbal signals. There are two degrees of explicitness: high explicitness and low explicitness. Tests of high level of explicitness employ a variety of structured techniques to elicit language data. So to elicit language data from the subject, the linguist uses certain structured questions, right? The subject knows that he is under the certain study. So far as the test of low explicitness are concerned, the test collect data of language which is produced spontaneously. So for example, when we are engaged in a conversation, when a person appears in an interview board, so the low explicitness is derived from such data. And most important about this low explicit test is that the subject does not know that he is being observed for a certain behavior of the language. So explicitness is an important characteristic of linguistics when we study language.